juice flowing, right? Involving Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark made a social media appearance today. She did. And in true Caitlin Clark fashion, she eviscerated a referee. She completely crushed a referee for a call during the Iowa game. Now, Caitlin, the NFL is on today. I was like, are you?
Enthusiasm has been building recently among supporters of the Indiana Fever, Iowa Hawkeyes, and Caitlin Clark following announcements about her participation with Team USA. The news has generated renewed interest, signaling that Clark is fully recovered and ready for action. Activity levels have surged noticeably, with engagement increasing significantly over recent days. Clark made waves on social media recently when she publicly criticized an officiating decision during an Iowa women's basketball contest. Despite Sunday afternoon being prime NFL viewing time, and with Clark known as a Kansas City Chiefs supporter, she was instead watching college basketball. Her attention was focused on the Hawkeyes matchup.
On today. I was like, are you watching basketball? Look, you get a pass every other day except Sunday afternoon. You ain't got to watch basketball. She was watching basketball. The Chiefs are not playing. We know she's a big Chiefs fan. So here we go. Iowa Hawkeyes women's basketball team found itself in a fascinating spot. Before the 2024-25 NC2A season, they were fresh off 2 consecutive trips.
The Iowa women's program entered the 2024-25 NCAA campaign in an intriguing position. The squad had reached back-to-back national title games but came up short of claiming the championship on both occasions. Those impressive tournament runs were powered primarily by standout player Caitlin Clark, alongside teammate Kate Martin, who helped establish Iowa as one of the nation's most skilled and heavily viewed programs. Following Clark and Martin's departure to professional basketball, along with head coach Lisa Bluder's retirement, the program transitioned to new leadership under Jan Jensen. During the recent contest, Taylor Stremlow executed an impressive defensive play, blocking an opponent's shot attempt with authority. After stopping the scoring opportunity, Stremlow demonstrated visible enthusiasm toward the offensive player.
NC2A season, they were fresh off 2 consecutive trips to the national championship game and ultimately fell short of being crowned champions in both. However, both runner-up finishes were largely because of superstar guard Caitlin Clark and her partner in crime, Kate Martin, were on the team, which made the Hawkeyes one of the country's most talented squads and, let's face it, most watched squads. Then Clark and Martin went to the W, forcing the Hawkeyes to forge a new identity. Lisa Boulder retired around the same time.
The moment recalled similar celebrations from NBA history, reminiscent of defensive displays from past eras when such demonstrations were common. Stremlow's statistics reflect strong contributions on both ends of the court, ranking 21st nationally in defensive metrics and 25th in offensive efficiency. Following her powerful rejection at the basket, Stremlow displayed physical celebration, flexing multiple times while walking away from the play. The crowd responded enthusiastically to the defensive effort. However, officials assessed a technical foul for the demonstration. The penalty appeared to catch many by surprise, including Jensen, whose reaction suggested disbelief at the decision.
Identity. Lisa Boulder retired around the same time as Clark and Martin left, and they handed the team to Jan Jansen. So, Caitlin Clark calls out a questionable referee decision in the Iowa game. Let's take a look at this, folks, because Taylor Stremlow would get a block in this game, and it was filthy. So she not only got the block, but she got in the offenders.
Stremlow received the technical violation apparently for displaying competitive spirit following her defensive stop. Iowa ultimately secured victory in the matchup, defeating Fairfield 86-72. Fairfield entered as a legitimate opponent, having posted a 59-5 record over recent seasons with multiple NCAA tournament appearances, making them far from an easy opponent. Clark's social media response expressed clear disagreement with the officiating choice. She questioned why Stremlow received a technical penalty for that display, adding laughing emojis and suggesting that officials should allow players to express competitive passion.
The defenders in the offender's face, and let them hear about it. And I thought, well, that's just a little Dikembe Mutombo kind of fire for you folks that have watched the NBA back when the NBA was good. That he used to wag his fingers. He literally made a Geico, I think it was a Geico commercial out of it that ran for like a decade. Check this out.
Her defensive rating is 21st in
the comment from arguably the most recognizable female athlete globally carried significant weight. Reactions to Clark's statement were swift and extensive across social media platforms. Many echoed her sentiment that the technical foul was unwarranted, comparing the celebration to classic demonstrations from basketball history. Some suggested the play resembled iconic moments of intensity and celebration that have historically been part of competitive basketball. Comments ranged from humorous observations to more pointed criticism of what many viewed as overly strict officiating standards.
Rating is 21st in the country, and their offensive rating is 25th in the country. It's a great block by Ava Hyden.
Okay, so she gave a little flex. Look at this. Taylor got a little flex when she's right here, she right here. The offender goes to shoot the ball, and she got stuffed in the Hades, and Taylor's going to give a little flex right here. Watch this flex. Yeah, right there. A little flex, right.
The incident and Clark's response sparked broader discussions about emotional expression in athletics and how officials balance maintaining game control with allowing natural competitive displays. Multiple observers characterized the penalty as excessive given the context, arguing that such celebrations are standard expressions of competitive fire. The situation highlighted ongoing debates in women's basketball about officiating consistency and the appropriateness of technical fouls for emotional displays following significant plays. Many noted similar celebrations in other levels of basketball that typically go without penalty, questioning why this particular instance warranted official intervention. Clark's willingness to publicly comment on the officiating decision demonstrated her continued connection to the Iowa program despite having moved on to professional basketball.
There. A little flex right there. She's flexing, and then she goes off. One more time.
Let's run. 21st in the country.
And the flex. Oh, yeah. Well, let's keep it going. Let's listen.
Was there a technical just called?
A technical was called. They called a technical foul. Yeah, Jan. I hear you. What the bleep? What the bleep? They called Taylor.
Her massive social media following ensured the incident received widespread attention, potentially influencing future discussions about officiating standards in women's college basketball. Caitlin Clark's social media activity has been quiet recently, with her last post about a baseball game occurring roughly a month ago. During Iowa's victory over Fairfield, tensions arose regarding officiating decisions despite the win. Fairfield historically has shown competence at various points, particularly during periods with certain roster additions. The program has experienced stronger seasons in the past, though recent years have brought challenges and numerous losses.
Fletcher, I think Jam Jensen might have just gotten teed up.
Yeah. On Strimlow, I guess for showing some emotion here, all right? Showing some emotion, in case you're wondering. Iowa won this game 86-72. Fairfield ain't no joke. I saw somebody say something earlier. They're struggling with Fairfield. Well, Fairfield was like, I think I read Fairfield was 59-5.
While not considered elite competition, the matchup generated discussion about referee conduct. Clark expressed frustration regarding officials after Taylor Stramello received a technical foul.
And so Taylor Stramello, the ball gets driven in. She swats her and then screams in her face and gets teed up. Do we not remember who else made that exact move? Who else did that exact thing? A player by the name of Caitlin Clark in what was one of the most iconic clips of her of her season. If you guys don't remember that pass she threw to Sophie Cunningham? Do Do you guys remember that?
That highlight play occurred immediately after Clark blocked J.J. Crinley, showed intense celebration in Crinley's direction, then launched the assist downfield. Had officials assessed a technical foul in that situation, the iconic sequence would never have materialized. Basketball functions fundamentally as entertainment. Following a defensive rejection, Stramello simply celebrated her achievement. While taunting regulations exist within rulebooks, the sport's nature as spectator entertainment deserves consideration, particularly at the collegiate level.
If you guys don't remember that pass she threw to Sophie Cunningham? Do you guys remember that really long pass that she threw to Sophie? Do you remember what happened right before that? Right before that pass happened, we had a pass or a block on Caitlin Clark to JJ Crinnerly, screamed in JJ Crinnerly's face, and then launched the ball to Sophie Cunningham for the layup. Like, that play doesn't happen if the referees tee up Caitlin Clark. That play.
Allowing athletes to display passion creates no genuine harm. Concerns about setting poor examples for young viewers seem overstated. Critics citing negative influence on youth might consider that emulating such celebrations requires first making the defensive play itself. Stremolo has emerged as Iowa's primary leader, with supporters anticipating 2 additional seasons of her contributions. Her performance has been consistently strong.
Like, that play doesn't happen if the referees tee up Caitlin Clark. That play doesn't happen if the refs tee up Caitlin Clark. And I'm sorry, I understand all of these things, but like, basketball is a spectator sport at the end of the day. Basketball is a spectator sport. She blocked her and just flexed on her. Like, I get it. There's probably rules against taunting and all that shit. But basketball is a spectator sport, especially at this level. Especially at this level, it's a spectator sport.
When Chit Chat returns from absence, the roster depth will improve significantly. Chit Chat's point guard capabilities represent an important factor in team success. However, the technical foul situation appeared unnecessary. Officials seemed determined to assert authority rather than allowing natural game flow. The call felt like referees inserting themselves into the contest unnecessarily.
But basketball is a spectator sport, especially at this level. Especially at this level, it's a spectator sport. Let people flex. Let people do that. Honestly, there's no harm. There is no harm being done. There is no harm being done at all by that. There's not. And being like, oh, they're a bad influence on all the kids watching. As the Michael Jordan meme would say,
situational awareness matters in officiating. If tensions were escalating toward physical confrontation, proactive technical fouls become justified. However, this contest showed no such characteristics. The game remained under control without signs of brewing altercations or excessive technical fouls throughout. Yet officials chose to assess an early technical, placing Stramello at risk of ejection through accumulation.
As the Michael Jordan meme would say, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it here because it would be it'll get me into a lot of trouble. We all know the Michael Jordan Twitter meme. Oh my god. Here it is. I know your meme. There we go. That's all we need to know if you're gonna ruin the sport of basketball. Saying what about the kids? If anything,
while collegiate rules differ from European basketball's stricter technical foul consequences where early technicals create immediate ejection risks through routine transition fouls, the situation still carried unnecessary consequences. Clark questioned the officiating decision publicly. One response noted that as an official, managing player emotions while preventing genuine fighting or excessive taunting requires balance. Communication with athletes about boundaries proves effective in game management. Quality officiating often goes unnoticed.
No, if you're gonna ruin the sport of basketball, saying what about the kids? If anything, they might try to replicate flexing. Get a block first. Genuinely, get a block first. But Stremlo is 100% the leader of this team, and Iowa fans have 2 more years of it. Stremlo's been really good. When Chit Chat comes back, like that's going to be very, very helpful for them. Because obviously, look, Chit Chat is a very key player for this Iowa team. Her ability to run the point is a factor in the winning.
When post-game discussion centers entirely on player performance rather than official decisions, referees have succeeded. Unfortunately, many basketball officials across various leagues prioritize assessments from fellow referees and evaluators over fan perspective and game flow. The primary concern becomes performance grades from supervising officials rather than viewer experience or athlete satisfaction. This pattern exists beyond just professional women's or men's basketball. Many referees focus excessively on internal evaluation metrics, comparing mistake counts with colleagues and worrying about supervisor opinions.
Her ability to run the point is a factor in the winning. But there was actually just no point in this. It feels like it's the referees trying to just go like, oh well, look, you did something we didn't like, so therefore we're gonna go and tee you up. I'm like, you just want to control the game. You just want to control the game. Look, if this is a game that was chippy, if this was a game where you were like, oh, it looks like a fight's gonna break out at any moment.
Irish basketball has shown similar tendencies, with officials making calls based on anticipated judgment from referee assessors rather than game requirements. This creates cycles where problematic officiating philosophies perpetuate. Capable officials sometimes adopt poor habits because experienced referees with control-oriented approaches influence their development. Strong officials get convinced to prioritize game control over natural flow. The specific official involved in this incident remains unnamed without judgment of their overall competency.
This was a game where you were like, oh, it looks like a fight's gonna break out at any moment. Okay. At the end of the day, you have to take a situation by situation. But at the end of the day, this isn't one of those, and we can all kind of tell this is not one of those situations where it's just an absolute shit show. The game is out of hand. There's tees flying around everywhere. We know that that's not what's happening right now. But yet we're now in a situation where you've got.
The broader principle concerns appropriate discretion. Officials possessed clear authority to assess the technical foul under existing rules. However, possessing authority to make a call doesn't automatically mean exercising that authority serves the game best. Despite having legitimate grounds for the technical, restraint likely represented the superior choice in this circumstance. The situation exemplified officials overstepping where tolerance would have better served competition quality and entertainment value.